Hi, welcome to the Online Learning Center. I'm Coach Marc Evans. Today's video tip is related to what I call the wing line in swimming. It is that elusive high elbow position that so many elite swimmers have. It is demonstrated and executed by a high elbow and low hand position, or a vertical forearm and hand position in the water. Here's how it's done, and the articulation of this movement can be a little bit challenging for some, so I've developed this technique called the wing line, which helps you lengthen and leverage your stroke. Well, let me explain a little bit about why it's important that you have this high elbow position. First of all, by achieving the high elbow position, you are purchasing water or anchoring your hand well ahead of the body so that the body can swim over this anchored or held position. Let me give you a little example, a demonstration of what I've seen so much over the last 20 some odd years of coaching triathletes, thousands of swimming lessons during that time. What we see so common is a dropped elbow. So if I'm here at my entry line and I pull back, you're seeing that the elbow is dropping down. That is representative of swimmers who do not gain or purchase water early enough in the stroke. And so if I pull back, you'll see that only when I get down to about this part of the stroke, or close to the bottom, or close to 90 degrees, am I actually grabbing water and pushing it back or holding it back. It's that first 80 degrees where I'm actually deflecting water kind of in an arcing manner down, so the resultant forces are going at a lot of different angles. And I can demonstrate that perhaps a little bit better on another video where I'll show you how laminar flows affect that. But what we do when we get a vertical forearm and hand, and you'll see this in elite swimmers, is that their forearm and hand are more vertical during that first part of the catch. So what they've done is they've achieved an anchor point way out here as opposed to down here. Additionally, you are achieving a greater usage of larger muscles. Back, chest, glutes, hips, abdominal, and core muscles are generated from this very athletic position as opposed to this dropped elbow position. The wing line is achieved by executing what I'm describing. Simply, surely you could just endeavor to have that position here. That has been a difficult position to coach for a lot of reasons, and I've come up with many drills to help people learn that, including a kickboard drill that I developed many years ago, where you hold on to a kickboard and your head's out of the water and you pull one arm, much like a surfer on a surfboard. They're great open water swimmers. If they're laying on a surfboard, they'll pull here, and then you'll see each one of those is a high elbow, low hand position, that vertical high elbow position. So we use a kickboard to help us isolate that. The technique that I'm going to give you to help this wing line position, so if I'm a bird and I'm just demonstrating that kind of shape that you'll see in a wing, is that if I turn around here, that is exactly the position that you're going to see at entry line. And the movement here is to pull the forearm and hand quickly down, but without a lot of force or propulsion at that point. It's more of a positioning move. So what we look for is for you to position this forearm and hand, as opposed to what we get with the dropped elbows. Swimmers will pull quickly with a straight arm, And again, it's going to put a lot of stress on their shoulders, but more importantly, as I mentioned earlier, they're not going to get propulsion until the deep part of the stroke. So again, the wing line is here. So if I were a bird, this will be just demonstrating half. A bird's wing is here, gossamer here, pull the forearm and hand back. So what is it that I'm doing there that can be repeated? The key that I like to have you do is to have an open armpit. So during this first portion of the stroke, keep the armpit open here, right here, as you're getting position. Do not let the elbow travel back. If you do, you're closing your armpit. If I pull straight arm, I'm closing armpit. If I put my elbow in, if I go to that vertical forearm and hand, then I keep this elbow position maintained, and I've got exactly what I want. So you've achieved that vertical forearm and hand. You're now going to hold water sooner. You're going to get water way out in front. You're going to anchor your hand, and you're going to be able to swim real nicely and symmetrically over the right side and then over to the left side as you're coming through. A way to train this is, and I tend to use just one drill in swimming for teaching stroke mechanics, and that is a 3 left or a 3 right or a 1-arm stroke drill. And in this particular instance, what we would do is you have your left hand here, and you're going to make a stroke with your right, and then you're going to go vertical forearm and hand with that open armpit during the first phase. And you're going to note that that elbow doesn't drop back. It just pulls right here. You come to the side, you're going to see that armpit is open. So 3 on the left. So that nice position is executed in the front. It's the positioning, not propulsion. Then you're going to switch over, and you're going to go 3 on the left. 3 on the left. You could repeat that going 3 left, 3 right for 25, or left arm only for 25. Come back with the right arm for 25, or a half a length 25 left, half a length left arm only, half a length right arm only. Following those drills, that stroke drill up with swim distances of 25, 50, 75, or 100 after you do each one of those stroke isolated and focuses techniques upon the high elbow wing line position. So that's a very, very useful tool. It's going to take you a while to develop, but if you think open armpit and you think positioning during that first portion of the stroke, you should have really good success in achieving that symmetry and good body line balance that is so important in swimming. So I want to thank you for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, you can go ahead and email those to us. And remember to try to make every movement that you do better than the last. I'm Coach Marc Evans.